The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, and thank you for joining our webinar today. For those of you that are on the call that would like a recorded version of the webinar, we are recording the webinar, and we'll be sure to share a link to that recording by tomorrow. First, here's our agenda. We'll move quickly and get started since we want to spend as much time in the live demonstration as possible. As a form of introduction, my name is Frank Thomas. I work for Adaptive Corporation as a metrology specialist. In my role, I help support customers in the East who have metrology applications and or require services. In this part of the country, our customers are largely automotive and a mix of aerospace and industrial manufacturing. I have a counterpart on the West Coast. His name is Larry Keene. He's based in Southern California. Larry has over 30 years experience in the aerospace industry and works with many of our aerospace OEM Tier 1 and Tier 2 customers. I'm joined today by Rebecca Keller, who has been working with quality inspectors for over 19 years, training them on the latest inspection software and assisting quality managers to effectively use their personnel for key inspection tasks rather than tedious, often redundant tasks. Rebecca holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Troy State University in Troy, Alabama, and a master's degree from Wright State University in Dayton, Ohio. She has been providing training, sales support, and testing of DISCUS Software, who is a leader in inspection software, since 2007. Rebecca will be conducting the live demonstration for us today. Now, a quick introduction to Adaptive, and we have a couple of polling questions for you as well. At Adaptive, we refer to ourselves as the digital to physical product lifecycle company. By that, we mean we're uniquely experienced working with customers throughout the product lifecycle process from CAD design to data management. For those of you that are familiar with the acronyms PDM or PLM, we also perform simulation or FEA work, as well as metrology from first article inspection to in-process inspection, including automated or robot in-process inspection, as well as additive manufacturing. We started as a CAD company and added to our portfolio of solutions as our customers expanded. Today, Adaptive has over 500 customers across North America, yes, including Canada, that are serviced by our several field offices. So in terms of what that portfolio looks like, here's maybe a little bit different view of it. You'll notice that one of the components that we offer is something called CATIA. CATIA, for those of you that are familiar with SolidWorks, CATIA is like the big brother version of SolidWorks. CATIA is used largely in the automotive and aerospace industry. And then there's a portfolio around CATIA and now SolidWorks as well for simulation and data management and factory simulation and automation type stuff. And we're involved in that as well. As far as our customers, I mentioned that we have over 500 customers. Here's the obligatory slide that shows some of our marquee customers and some of the names. You probably recognize a few of those. Our customers, as I mentioned, include some large OEM, Tier 1, Tier 2. We work with a lot of small job shops as well, so it really kind of spans the gamut. Adaptive specializes in providing portable metrology equipment. So what we're seeing here, these are solutions from a company called Creaform, who makes portable 3D scanners. They also provide portable CMMs, as well as automated or robot scanning and inspection equipment as well. Adaptive offers connectors between DISCUS and PolyWorks, for those of you familiar with PolyWorks. So it gives us the ability to take the as-measured data and automatically enter the as-measured data into your PPAP or AS9102. So if you're interested in any of those details, please let us know. And now let's move on to our polling questions. Specifically, we have two of those. Maggie, over to you.
And the poll is open.
Okay. So the first poll is, what is your primary first article measurement tool? So what kind of measurement devices do you typically use? I wonder if you just take a few seconds here and click any of them that apply. So if you're doing manual, gauges, if you've got a CMM, if you've got an arm, a ferro or roamer arm, or maybe you have a 3D scanner of some kind. So if you have all of those, click them all and then hit that. And then we'll read that back to you because that's always interesting to us to know what people are commonly using for measurement. And Maggie, let me know when we're ready with some results.
The results are in. We have 50% of the participants with manual instruments and 50% with 3D scanners.
Wow, cool. Okay. Then let's move on to the, there you go. There's the results. That's interesting. So not, no arms, no CMMs. Wow. Okay, let's move on to the second polling question if we could real quick. This is called that audience involvement part, right? So,
right.
So, we show the second question. If not, we'll just bypass that and we'll go directly on to Rebecca's presentation. Looks like we're having some difficulty. Oh, here we go.
Sorry about that. The
So
poll is open. Yep.
How do you balloon your 2D drawings today? So again, if you could chime in on this, are you doing it manually? Are you doing it maybe in CAD? A lot of folks, like where I worked, use some combination of manual and CAD. A lot of people that I talk to are pulling PDFs into Word or PowerPoint and ballooning them in Word or PowerPoint and then creating, or Excel, and then creating a PPAP from there, an AS9102. So if you could click anything that applies there, and then when ready, Maggie will share the results of that with us. Wrapped up there, Maggie, on results?
Yep, we just have the final results. 67% are manual and 33% are other.
Oh, okay. So naturally, the people that are manual and CAD, or so if you're doing any of this manually, I think that you'll be really excited about what Rebecca's going to show us here shortly. So with that, let's go on to our live demonstration. Oh, there's the results. And so office applications win the day, as usual. Okay. With that, if we could transfer over to Rebecca. And Rebecca, we're on for the live demonstration. Go right ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Keller from DISCUS Software, and I'm delighted you're going to spend a few minutes with me as I walk you through kind of a high-level demo of DISCUS Software. I'm not going to belabor this too much on the PowerPoint, but basically, I'm going to give you an introduction to DISCUS 11. I'm going to add some drawings. I'm going to add some drawings that some are really good quality and others maybe not so good. I do know in the real world that you work with that sometimes your customers give you less than wonderful drawings. But DISCUS is a software that allows you to get the best benefit from a non-manual application. That means even if you have a bad print, we have the ability to extract the data and put it into an AS9102 form for you, or any inspection sheet. I'll show you how to set apart accountability. If you have tolerance and grids, I'll show you how to do that as well. Most of the time, I'm going to spend showing you how to balloon and use the optical character recognition. Yeah, the OCR is what really makes the application, DISCUS Software, give you the most benefit. It reduces the manual entry, the hutton pecking on your keyboard, which I know you probably dislike as much as I do. I'm going to show you a little bit about how to do some auto ballooning and auto sub ballooning. And if you've ever missed a characteristic, let me assure you, with DISCUS Software, you never have to miss one again. I'll show you how to change your balloons. If you miss something, add a new balloon so it's logically in that sequence. How to enter your actuals. We'll then export to PDF into Excel. And throughout, if you have questions, you can certainly ask them. We'll probably put them at the end, and then we can, kind of address your questions. And then we want to talk about our summer sale. So without further ado, we're going to add the drawing, work with part accountability, spend a lot of time on defining results, and then export. So let me now get into DISCUS. This is the welcome page. I hover here for a minute just to provide that we have free online training every single month anyone who wants it. Plus, if you purchase DISCUS, you get 2 hours of training just for yourself. Well, this is the drawing panel. Below is called the Bill of Characteristics. Let me talk a minute about the Bill of Characteristics below. This is Form 3, Characteristics. The part accountability is our nomenclature, how you name the part. If you have an assembly, maybe you have a parts list, material processes, and functional tests. These map to the AS9102 form. Above is the drawing panel. Nothing is really enabled because I haven't added any drawings yet. So as promised, let me do that now. I'm going to right-click into the drawing and add a drawing. Now the first drawing I'm going to add has a lot of notes, and as I mentioned, we don't like to type, and this would require a lot of data entry. And so I'll just indicate F. And you see all those notes. Boy, I sure want to type that. But with the OCR mode set to notes, I won't have to type. Now I'm going to set up another drawing. This one is just really nice to demonstrate the auto ballooning. Auto ballooning, basically, with this feature, allows me to balloon sections of the print automatically. I'll demonstrate that to you as well. Well, I know what you're thinking. I can read your minds. You don't often get prints this nice, I bet. I bet you don't. Well, sometimes you might get a print that has been, I say, a little bit compromised. And let me share with you a print that you'll probably recognize as being maybe scanned one too many times, an older print, very compromised. I know you've seen things like this, right? Well, in DISCUS, we can improve that for our OCR. Under View, we can adjust the contrast to sharpen that drawing. Isn't that a lot better? Surely helps your eyes, and it facilitates the optical character recognition. Well, I have 3 prints. The File menu, my export will be here. Edit, you already saw I adjusted the contrast. And what I do here in drawing, I'm just going to go to some of the more important features, is we have an auto sub-balloon option. The auto sub-balloon option means if there's 4PL or 2X, gives me that number of sub-balloons. I like to turn that on. Now the results will have our pass-fail data. I set it up and forget it. You can share the list with other people within your group so that you're all picking from the same list. Under Settings, we have our properties. So my size of the balloon. Also, I would like to make the balloon nice and thick so we can really show it off today. Additionally, we have default tolerances. I set it up per the drawing. You just click in the cell and change the value per the drawing, because with the OCR, the optical character recognition, one of the toggles is to set the single values to tolerances. You'll see that rather dramatically within this. So that's basically, I set that up and I'm ready to go. I always like to focus on the part accountability first and to show you a little bit of the OCR. This is an extract text. And the reason I like this one is that it can pull from the name of my drawing. I don't even want to type that. This is what OCR does. I drag a rectangle, there it is, and right click, and that's my part name. Save the properties. Okay. And see, it supplied that information. I'll say that Bill did this in your company, and I'm filling this in right now because this is going to be the title block. You complete this as much as seems reasonable, additional changes, etc., etc. If you have a supplier code, it can be done at any time. Now, those of you who are aerospace, you know that everything on the left 2 columns are going to be required by the AS9102 Revision B standard. The ones on the right are conditional. Intentionally, I'm going to leave number 9 open so you can see the ramifications when I miss something, because we are very adherent to the AS9102 standard. Those were my tolerances, and I put those in previously. What I want to do next, I'm put in some zone grids. That has always been a laborious process to ascertain the zone grids. This is 6x4 and click apply. The zone grids are laid. I simply move them. And when I balloon, the zone and grid data is going to be there automatically. I'll move that up a little bit. Looks good. Make them invisible. Apply. You can apply the grid to multiple pages. Maybe your drawings have several pages. You can apply the grid to across all of those pages and click apply. It becomes the same concept. I do all three of them just so that we have the same data as we look at the report later on. And one more, light print. There we go. Enable and 8x4. And apply, invisible, and apply. So we have our zone grid, we have the title block information captured, and our tolerances. So we're ready to now balloon. Now, I'm going to balloon some notes. With my balloon icon, drag it around the data, and my balloon is a red because it doesn't have any data in it, and I made it a nice bold balloon, and I let go. And it supplies the information down the bill of characteristics. And you know, specifications are often called out on notes, aren't they? Well, let's assign that specification to Form 2. Let's do it. I'll just put it right here, a Loctite. Right click and add a spec. You can put the name of the spec down here. I'm just going to be expedient right here. And you can put in your code and all that other information as you see fit. So that is a way to glean the specs right from the notes. Makes sense? I think that's rather important. I'm going to do it again. Whenever I have a training class or a demo, all my students say, boy, I'd like to see that again. So let's do it one more time. Put it on this print. Notice my OCR mode is notes. Here we go. For LAM standard, highlight, right click. We're already here, and I haven't done any typing, have I? And we are assigning that spec to Form 2. And simply admit it. There you go. So you can continue in that manner. Now I'm going to balloon this. Number 2. Let's do a few notes here. Now notice it's number 3, and I don't fancy it being number 3. In the bill of characteristics, I can pull it right up to number 2. Very easy to renumber it. My customer expects that each one of these note A, B, and C are separate. So with 2 selected, I'm now going to subballoon them. You know, just this will be a 2.1, 2.2, and you have to ask yourself, if you had to type this, how long would it take? And we are doing pretty well. Perfect. Very good. All right, you can move the balloons, of course, to position them. And, you know, this is another nice feature. You can put a leader line, you know, for really tight spots. You know how that works. And I made my leader line nice and thick as well so we can see it. Well, fine. Let me move up a little bit. I want to do a little bit more manual ballooning on this one. Just show you some ins and outs. Balloon this. And it gives me the upper and lower tolerances that I set up previously. DISCUS also has some intelligence with it, and for example, this 1.5 will know that it's typical. We continually refine DISCUS so that it becomes a tool to really expedite. One of the things I didn't do is GD&T. There you go. Make sure that's there. All right. We've done a really good job on this, and we haven't had any trouble. But I do want to share with you this drawing because it's an older drawing. I'm going to show you some tricks of the trade here. I'll zoom in. We had to darken this, and it's just actually the font is a little different, and this as well. So I'm going to balloon a few things here, then I'll show you some auto ballooning. I'm going to balloon this flatness because I know sometimes things don't work out real well. Now, in the bill of characteristics, and I had my GD&T going, you may notice there's nothing here. This, my customers call this the brains of the OCR. It's the characteristic properties. And you see how wee tiny that is. Every drawing is as unique as a person. So sometimes you need a little scale it up. Let's see if we get it. And maybe, oh, a little bit more maybe. There, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to set that scale and we're good. Okay. And we'll try it with the parallelism as well and see if I have managed to have the right scale. Sometimes I'm lucky, sometimes not. Sometimes just maybe I need to reduce that a little bit and then get the right scale. Let's see. Not quite. There is also a GD&T editor that you can use. And 001. And a 1. And this will be, I think, data May. Here you go. I do want to keep that. Notice when I balloon this feature, it gives me the 2 sub-balloons, 1 and 2. So I can move that. So I have, because it knew it was 2 places, you can't, the 8.1 and 8.2 will take the responsibility of the results. So that's a nice feature. Let's see that one more time. You may like that concept or may not. Some of your customers will want you to have that. Others, no, not so much. So you can turn it on or off. Most of my customers do appreciate having that kind of granularity. There you go. So there we had a little bit of manual ballooning of this. Now let's look at auto ballooning. And if you have any questions, I think in the GoToWebinar, you can post those and, you know, the adaptive folks can let me know what questions you have. Now, auto ballooning will do this for you. It will give you the dimension, put that rectangle around the data, and automatically give you the data in the bill of characteristics. So let's take a look. This one, that's a real good one for auto ballooning. And you might have certain drawings that have sections that will be ideal for that. So with this, looks kind of like a magic wand, doesn't it? So I'll just grab a swath of this information, just kind of grab that little information, and I'm going to let go. And you don't have time to even get a cup of coffee because it's going to auto balloon the data for us. And there it goes, and ran the data. Very good. Now let's zoom in and take a look at what we have here. And number 10. Look, 10. There we go. Linear basic. There we go. We've done a pretty good job throughout all this. Linear basic. It knew that. Now, it knew it was a basic because of this line underneath, which gives me explanation for you that sometimes features such as this, we have the diameter right on top of that. You might think this is a, you know, basic because it sees that line's been programmed that way. I'm going to balloon this little swath here just to show you that. But it's easy to fix it. All right, let's go. And I'll zoom in and take a look. Look at 19. Thought it was a basic because of that pesky line. Now let's increase the scale a little bit, see if it behaves. And you can crop out that line just very easily. There, reevaluates and you're ready. And there's the true position, diameter, maximum material condition, reference A, B, and C. Did that automatically. And we have 21. Okay, let's see, that's that. Okay, there we go. If you have a little arrow there, you can just change it. I change it down here. You always want to keep eyes out for it. Okay. And there we go. And let's look at 22. 22, as predicted, is that line there. And I can, there it is. I kind of clean that up, saw a little bit more, and you can convert it, and we're good to go. The children elements, oh, okay. I love the copy paste feature. If you do like this, those 1, 2, and 3, DISCUS does know places, PL, and X. Very quickly, you can get through a lot of the data rather quickly. There you go. Now, I have this question for you, and you can just answer in your own mind. Have you ever ballooned a print and found at the end that you may have missed a characteristic. If that's happened to you, rest assured this doesn't have to happen to you ever again. Now I'm going to delete something and show you this. Now it's true. We would not probably miss a single characteristic on this drawing. But if you have had those drawings with hundreds of characteristics that are just, it's just very possible that you may have missed one. So how about a little insurance policy? How about that? I'm going to show you what to do. Let's zoom in a little bit. If you press Control W on the keyboard, then you can go on a reconnaissance mission to see what you missed in the print. Maybe you missed it because you meant to. Maybe it was a reference dimension and you don't have to deal with that. Or maybe you bona fide missed a characteristic. That is Control W. Whenever I balloon, before I am ever ready to send this off, I always perform this little task, Control W, to see what I missed. I will balloon this one. Let's go ahead and drag a rectangle in, and notice it's numbered number 23. Well, I could pull it up into the 13th slot, or you could right here in the characteristic properties, once again, just change the numeric value to 14. And OK. And you're back in business. Make sense? Very good. Well, I'm now going to conclude with a couple things. I'm going to export the balloon print and show you a fast and easy way to get the result data. Results can be right here. You could do it right into DISCUS, or maybe you have an inspection team and you don't want to share your license with them. You would like to keep your license for yourself and they could work in Excel. That sounds like a good idea. So we could do this. Let's export the prints. I've done 3 of them, so we'll just knit them as a single PDF. And today's, 13 August, and I'll just name it that. There you go. And save and open, and gives me those prints. The balloon version of what we've done. That, a little bit of this one, and then this. Second one, I did auto ballooning. Very good. You may want to send that print to your inspection team, put it on the put it on the network so they can get it. And then you can do this for your team. You continue working, but you could set up an Excel just for them to enter the results. You don't have to share your license with them. And let's say this is for Ted. Ted is our inspector for today. And click Save and Export. And this is given to Ted, and he's outside of DISCUS. He has Excel. He doesn't have to have any of the program at all, and he has the balloon print, and he has the power of Excel to get through this. And pass. And I'm just going to be expedient, put some things I put in there, and he just put P and in the power of Excel as he continues throughout this process. Now, let's say just for a minute. Poor Ted had a bad night. And I feel quite sad for him, but he had some problems. And he accidentally, over here, and made that a, I don't know what happened. He just kind of made a mistake. Not that that would ever happen. Change the value. 1.575 in calipers. And then we'll go down here. I'm just going to kind of nitpick this one and be 0.5 calipers. I'm going to just kind of do a few here and there. And 0.54. I'll say calipers again. Okay, let's pretend he's done. File. We will. Oh, I want to go back. I want to file and I want to save. And we'll just put it here. He'd probably want to put it on the network where he could get that very quickly. And we'll say TED results. And send my DISCUS training. Very good. All right. Now, that's from TED. Gives it to you. You didn't have to use your license. Under results, import from Excel. browse. Let's find out where they are. It's in DISCUS training. I believe so. All right, let's find it. TED results, there they are. Import them from TED. Grand, there you go. Now, do you remember Ted had a bad day and he actually changed the requirement here? But DISCUS held firm. DISCUS had locked down all the characteristics, and you'll have a conversation with Ted right here. Also, let's look a little bit further. This characteristic failed. And sometimes my customers say, well, I don't understand why that failed. Well, DISCUS tells you. The value of the result's not the same as the requirement. Ted didn't go out enough decimals. You can be more precise in AS9102, not less. You see, he needed to go out. He needed to meet that requirement. This turns yellow because it's very close to out of tolerance. You can turn those warnings on or off, but they're always good to know. Well, we have the balloon print. Let's export. Under File, Export. Now, those of you who need to export to NetInspect, we have a direct link. We've had it since 2007 with them, and you can export to NetInspect. So if that's one of your customer requirements, you can go right from DISCUS and upload the balloon print and all the data into NetInspect. Well, let's do this. Do you remember at the beginning, I said there was a validator? Let's see what's required by AS9102. And we missed these results, which I understand. And that manufacturing process reference number that I intentionally skipped has prompted me. That is true. In the part accountability, I left out that job number. It's an internal number. And this is again required by AS9102. So let's do it again. File, Export, come on, Template to Excel. This time I'll say any requirements. I know I didn't finish the results. And I'll click Browse, and I'll call it Final. There you go. And save and export. Open. There we go. This is what Ted had done, remember? And here's the AS9102 form. If you have your own template, we at DISCUS create templates for you as part of your support and maintenance. Here's our title block. I said build this, it's complete. Form 2. Do you remember I pulled those specs right from the notes? I didn't type those. Form 3. Here's our sheet and zone. I laid that out. Those notes I never typed. Good old Ted did that for me. This is the data. And if you have, again, your own template, we can rate it for you. Maybe you like it with your own logo and maybe parsed out a little bit differently. We can do that for you. And let's see, we had from characteristic 10 through 23 were auto ballooned. Reference datum A, B, and C, and gave me my GD&T callouts. So this is DISCUS Desktop with the optical character recognition and results. What you've just seen comprises what we call the first article inspection suite. So if this is something of interest to you, if you think it can save you time, effort, error proofing, then this might be an excellent solution for you. So I know this was a pretty fast demo, but if you have any questions, you could certainly let me know. I think, is it Maggie or Julianne? Were there any questions?
If anyone has any questions, please enter them in the questions box. Thank you.
Very good.
We are not showing any questions quite yet. We'll have one more Q&A session in just a minute.
Perfect.
We're going to hand it over back to Frank.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Frank, I think you're muted.
Hello.
There you are.
Okay, now
Okay.
now you were unmuted. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Rebecca, that was an outstanding presentation. So let's go on to, we mentioned that we are running a summer promo that runs through the end of this month. So kind of short notice, but for those of you that are in a position or interested, wanted to at least kind of clue you in on that. And the promo is simply this: if you buy a DISCUS license before the end of the month, you get one license free. So that's the desktop studio. There's a variety of bundles. We can add a CMM component, for example, as an option to that bundle so that you can read CMM data directly. So that there's a couple of things like that that are pretty cool. If any of that is of any interest to you, certainly let us know. We can talk a little bit about options. Again, Julianne is looking at Q&A, so we'll see if there's anything that's come in the last minute or so.
Hey, Frank. I do have one question coming in here. It says, what is the training process and is training included with software?
Well, that's a great question. Yes, it is. If you decide that you would like to purchase DISCUS, you get 2 hours of online training per seat. So let's say you got the deal here of 2 seats. You would have 4 hours of training to be used just for yourself. And these are the 2 for 1 is for a one-time fee. That means you're one and done. You know, we do have subscriptions, but that means you give us a lot of money every year. The one-time fee, you basically purchase the software and you own it, and you get 2 hours of online training with the trainer, who I understand is not only talented but beautiful. And it's all online. Plus, we also have 2 sessions of free training every single month, a beginning class and advanced class. Plus, we have instructional videos, tutorials, and access to our support portal. So there are quite a bit of opportunity to learn the software.
Great.
I hope that answers your question.
Yes. And could you had mentioned a subscription. Is there a software subscription with this software? Could you clarify?
Yeah, we do offer subscriptions, but we don't offer sales on subscriptions. Became kind of unmanageable. So the sales, the subscription means you get the software for a year, and after a year, unless you pay again, it's turned off. So most of my customers, I'd say we have over 2,000 companies who use this, because I would say 80 to 90% prefer the one-time fee, and they own the software.
Great, thank you. Anyone has any questions, please enter them in the questions panel. I do have one more question. We use a custom PPAP format. Is there a charge to customize a template?
It is not. It's part of your support maintenance. As a matter of fact, I have a sample PPAP form that was given to me about 2 years ago from GM. And so I often demo that and provide that for our customers. Often they say, that's perfect, that's exactly what I want. But otherwise, the support maintenance that you pay, that's included with your fee for the first year, you're totally set up for the first year, includes all those customized templates.
Great, thanks. Any other questions? Please enter them in the questions panel. I'm not seeing anything. So Frank, you want to wrap it up?
Okay, thanks, Julianne. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thanks, Rebecca.
So yeah, to wrap things up, here's my contact info. So if you have any questions, technical questions, be glad to connect with you and have that conversation. We can involve Rebecca as necessary as well. Certainly, if you're looking for pricing or a formal price quote, welcome to contact me, and I'll refer you to the appropriate salesperson on this end. So thank you, everybody, for being on the call today. Appreciate your time. Hope you found this worthwhile, and I'm sure that we'll be in touch moving forward. Thank you all again. Bye-bye.